Good morning. It is wonderful to be with all of you today. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's see, where are we? Oh, Francois, it's wonderful to see you. Nelson, BC. Oh, I'm excited to get back into the morning meditations tomorrow morning. Hey, Gear, so good to see you, my dear. Oh, I'm so glad you went back and listened to the meditations. Yes, and that's one of the things I really like about YouTube. It's really easy to do these live streams because it's just automatically recorded and then it's just automatically on my channel. And I mean, they really, for someone like me, who's not really that technical, and yet I find myself online a lot. They really just make it so easy. I'm very grateful to them. Good morning, Kathleen. I hope you are settling back into life after Hawaii. Oh my gosh, you guys, it was so incredible. It was such an amazing week. And the Hawaii Island Retreat Center where we were, oh my gosh, it just was beyond what I imagined it to be. The land, I mean, the retreat center was beautiful and lovely, but the land was extraordinary, just extraordinary. I cried, like as soon as I first got there, I started crying. And they had this incredible valley of ancient stones that were like over 2,000 years old. And I literally just wept when I met these stones for the first time and was in this valley. It was incredible. So I tell you, Mother and Yeshua just pulled out all the stops for this one. It was really extraordinary. And I hope that maybe some of you can join us the next time we come together, Carissa and I, to do a retreat. Hey, Janny. Oh, thank you. It's so good to have you here, my dear. And Diane and Deborah, who, let me just say, was exceptional. Deborah did integrative yoga classes every morning at the retreat, and she would weave together the teachings from Mother and Yeshua from the day before and weave them into the yoga practice for the day, and the yoga nidra and the laughter yoga and the movement. And everyone just raved about the yoga classes, and they said it helped so much, because sometimes the energy can be intense. It's like Mother times two, and to have that space of integration, body integration, so important. And Deborah just was, as usual, amazing. So big thank you again for doing that for us, Deborah. It was awesome. Oh, and Melinda's here. Yay, Melinda from Colorado. I think my son might be going to college in Colorado. He is so drawn to that state. And one of my close friends here in Ashland is moving back to Colorado because it's a homecoming for her. So I'm losing everyone to Colorado. Oh, see, Kathleen says Deborah's yoga classes were terrific. So if you'd like to have more body integration in your life, integrating Mother's teachings more deeply into your body, Deborah is the woman to see. Deborah, could you please put your email address or some kind of contact information, your website, in the chat right now? Because I have to tell you all, body integration with this work, with this movement, is going to become more and more important as we move in, as we really experience all the intense shifts that it's going to take for the human race and the planet to move into the new age. So to integrate these teachings on a deeper level is going to benefit you enormously. And Deborah is really the person to do that. So, so yeah, please, Deborah, put your website in the chat so people can find you and take your classes or do one-on-ones with you. Quibblies, I love that name. You got just, it's so whimsical. I don't know what it means or what it stands for, but it just feels so whimsical to me. I love it. All right, everybody. And just as a reminder, Mother's Retreat, online retreat in first weekend of December, the new moon, the registration is open. If you go to my website, you will find that, belovedpublications.com. And I have to tell you, a lot of the energy that happened in Hawaii is going to be present for everybody during that retreat. Like that energy is going to be available and present for everybody. And she's going to take that way deeper. I feel that it's going to be a really profound experience because she's going to be taking everybody deeper into the void, that inner void, but not as like a scary thing or, oh, I have to do this, or I'm scared to do that. Like, I don't want to go into that place, but as a recognition that this is just the natural process by which we grow, and how to really embrace that and utilize that and not fear it, like to go there willingly. Or when you find yourself there, to let it happen and go with it instead of trying to swim upstream or fight against it or feel like there's something wrong with you because you're in the void, or it feels like you're approaching the void, or you need to be in the void, that's wrong, or you shouldn't do that. You should always be, in the light and happy. And if you're not doing that, there's something wrong with you, or you're not spiritual enough, or, all that other just chatter that we do in our heads and to ourselves. So this is really like a homecoming, like a recognition of what just is inside of us, what's completely natural, what is necessary. Like, the void is necessary to our growth, to our expansion deeper into love. And so I'm just really excited about this. And I'm really happy that she's doing this particular subject, energy, focus online, because everybody can really create their own safe space. They can, you can be comfortable in your own home. You can sit in your bed, whatever is your most comfortable, safest, most wonderful place in your home. Eating your own food and just everything, taking the walks where the walks feel good, and just everything you need to feel that comfort and that safety as we explore the void together. So I hope you all can join us, because it's going to be awesome. All right. All right, here we go. Hello, beloved ones. It is wonderful to be with you today. I thank you for joining me and for your willingness to listen with your heart and your soul and your ears and your mind. Today, I'm going to talk about your thoughts, the way your mind works. Not all the ways that your mind works, but just your thought patterns. Now, you have heard throughout your life from many different sources, both scientific and otherwise, that your brain is something that you can train. So it's how you learn, how you absorb knowledge, how you integrate information, how you distill it, discern it, and through your experiences, turn it into wisdom. And all of that is wonderful. When you are learning something new, when you are experimenting, when you are on the path of discovery, all of that is a celebration in your brain. You are happy that your brain functions that way, that you can learn a new language, that you can conceive of a future, that you can consciously care for another human being. You love that you have these senses. You can hear, you can see, you can taste, you can smell, you can touch. And all of this moves, is governed by, is in co-creation with your brain. The way your nervous system, your heart, your lungs, all these things work without your constant attention, your constant management. That so much of your body runs just automatically. You think, what a miracle that I don't have to every moment be in charge of my heartbeat or my breathing. That this beautifully complex organ encased within your skull is such a treasure, a gem. But what about the thought patterns that can generate fear, depression, anxiety, deep inner wounding from a constant source of critical self-deprecation, inferiority? These are the thoughts that have a corrosive effect upon your daily life. They can feel debilitating. So I'm going to speak to you today in a more practical terms. So let's say that we were to just take the spirituality out of this conversation. Not that you ever really can, because it's not separate, but for today, let's focus in a very practical, common sense way about your thoughts and your thought patterns. Now, some of your daily thoughts are very helpful. What do you need to buy at the grocery store? Right? You have the to-do list or the grocery list thoughts. You might have thoughts about doing something kind for someone. I think I'll cook a special meal tonight for my loved ones or my friends. So the thought, I'll call my friends. I'll go to the grocery store to pick up all the ingredients. I'll create my schedule in such a way that I'll have time to prepare, shop and prepare and cook this wonderful meal for my loved ones. So there's a lot of thoughts throughout the day that are wonderful, helpful, supportive. It's time to meditate. I'll sit down and meditate. What do I feel like today? I think I'll do Mother's raising my vibration meditation. That sounds great to me today. There are thoughts about paying bills and finances. So let's set aside all of those thoughts too, right? We like the thoughts that help you navigate your life in a very realistic manner, thoughts of others, how you can help others, kindnesses that you can extend to others, thoughts about your day, organizing your day, what you need for your day. Wonderful. When you're going to meditate, when you're going to write, and the thoughts that then carry you through those activities. But we are going to focus today on the thoughts that dwell both in your unconscious mind and your conscious mind, that produce pain, re-triggering of trauma, depression, anxiety, but mostly those thoughts that generate fear, unhealthy fear. And almost all the time, fear that is not actually present. So I'm not talking about if you are in an abusive situation right now, where your fear is absolutely right to have, because at a certain point, that fear will help you get out of your abusive situation. So it plays a vital role, even if it is producing anxiety or re-triggering of trauma again. It really does serve a purpose. But if you are someone who is not in any kind of danger or abusive situation right now or in your life, nor is it likely that you are going to be in one of those types of situations in the future, and yet you are continually caught up in thought patterns that produce this fear, then it is time for you to focus on retraining your brain. So think about this in terms of learning a new language. So you have a particular kind of language in your mind that is manifest as thought. And those thoughts trigger your suffering. Now, if you have been around this, my teachings or spiritual life, or you've been trying to grow as a person, and you have been in many, many ways, and yet you still find yourself very anxious or with a lot of depression, fear sort of running rampant. And you don't necessarily feel that you are having critical thoughts about yourself, that you can't really remember or identify specific thoughts that are telling you it's all going to be terrible, or you're going to screw it up, and it's going to fall apart, and then you'll be left with nothing and everyone will leave you, right? But you have all the feelings of that, but you can't hear the thoughts. Then you know that your thoughts are hiding in your unconscious mind. Your mind is brilliant. No matter how you did in school, your mind is brilliant. Its capacity is beyond anything you can imagine. So for you, for your brain, to do as you ask, to hide those thoughts, that's easy. Very, very easy for it to do. So I'm bringing this up so you understand that your thought patterns can be conscious or unconscious. They can be overt or covert. But either way, this will work no matter what kind of thoughts you have that trigger, feed, nurture your fear, and ultimately create suffering for you in whatever way that comes about for you. So, when you first feel the thought, you hear the thought, you're aware of the thought, or maybe you are aware of the feeling first. There is a particular breathing pattern that I would like for you to do. So that's the very first thing that you're going to do. Not, and this is important because what can often come on the heels of those thoughts or feelings is, oh no, it's happening again. I have to fix it. What can I do? What can I do? I have to do this. I have to do that. And then you are feeding that process. You are feeding those thoughts. You are throwing gasoline on the fire, right? So you want to take the fuel away from that fire that was just ignited, right? Those fear thoughts, those fear feelings. So the pattern of breathing is very simple. And you want to think of it in rounds of 10, right? So you breathe in 4 seconds, you hold for 2 seconds, And then you release for whether that's 5 or 6 or 7 seconds, however long it takes for you to completely exhale. That's going to be unique to you, depending on your lung capacity. So in for 4 seconds, it could even be 5. Hold for 2, and when you hold, just tuck your chin a little bit. 1, 2, and then release for anywhere from 5 to 7 seconds. You can do this in and out through the nose, in through the nose, out through the mouth, or in and out through the mouth if you have sinus problems that really make these kinds of breathing exercises painful for you. So you do this for 10 times right away before anything else. And once you've done 10, you see where you are. Now, some of these thoughts are going to be so hardwired into your brain that the anxiety will still be present. The fear response will still be present. So you do another 10. And do your very, very best to just focus on the sound of the breath, of how it feels to inflate your lungs and deflate your lungs, the muscles you use to breathe in and out. Focus everything about you, your whole mind, your heart, your soul, your body. Everything is focused on the breath and only the breath. You can do this in a bathroom. You can do this in your car. It would be best maybe to pull over if possible, but you could do it while you are driving. But when you tuck your chin, maybe skip that part and just hold for 2 seconds and then breathe out, right? For this, you want to keep your eyes open. Focus on one thing. Focus your eyes on one thing. Don't move them around a lot. It could be anything, a chair, a tree, a piece of the carpeting. Don't make it complicated. You find a place for your eyes to rest. That's all. Because movement, when you move your eyes around, you are stimulating your brain. Right? So you want to rest your eyes, but you keep them open so you can feel safe. Sometimes when you are in an anxiety response, when you are in a fear response, to close your eyes does not make you feel better. It can increase your anxiety. So you breathe, simple breath, no special kind of breath, just hold 2 and out. And then right away, in, hold 2 and out. Resting your eyes in one place, eyes open, feeling the breath through your whole body, cycle of 10. And then feel where you're at. Feel where your anxiety is. If you need another round of 10, then do that. And the language that you begin in your mind And this can be tricky. It's easier to speak it out loud. And if you need to do that a little bit, do that. But more importantly, this is to take place in your mind. And you want to have this dialogue, or really monologue, in your mind about safety. I am safe because as I sit here in this moment, I am not threatened. I am safe because I am wherever you are. I'm in my car, driving just fine. My loved one is fine, or my loved ones are all right. You need to talk your way through inside, right? These are your thoughts. You think your way through your own safety in the moment. And all the reasons that you are safe and why your loved ones are safe. Your finances are safe. Your house, your home is safe. Your children. In this moment. And you think thoughts of how this moment is the only moment. Because ultimately, this is what you are training your brain to remember, that this is the most vital piece of information in your brain, is that this moment is the only moment. The past is done. The future is not here. You only live in the moment. You can affect the past in the moment. You can affect the future in the moment, but you can only live in the moment. And this is what you are training your brain to recognize, to realize, and ultimately to have as its central and primary focus. Because you were trained from cradle to now to look to the future. Right? Plan for the future. What are you going to do in the future? What's your 5-year goal, your 10-year goal, your 20-year goal? What are you going to be when you grow up? And so you have trained your brain literally to live in a future that does not exist for you yet. Much more so than the moment. And it would be all right if the way you were taught this was to live in the moment, but as a sentient being to recognize that the future is coming to the moment, right? At some point, you will be 10 years older, 20 years older, 30 years older. Most likely. But the way that it is taught to you all is to project out, to project your thoughts, your energy, your focus out into the future, away from the moment where you are most powerful. So as you retrain your brain to be in the moment, and this is not just a thought, oh, I should be in the moment. Oh, okay, let me just right now be in the moment. I'm talking about putting the time in to literally learn a new language. Just like if you were learning a language you do not speak at all in this moment. Right? You would have to study. You'd have to put a lot of thought into learning that language. Yes, intuition, yes, feeling, but you'd have to put a lot of thought into learning a new language. So the new language for you right now in your lives is to be in the moment, because your safety is found in the moment, not the past, not the future. There can be memories in the past of safety that help you to feel safe in the moment, but your true safety lies with your empowerment in the moment, your connection to yourself and the divine in the moment. So once you have done your breathing and you are having this monologue in your mind about safety, how you are safe, and then you really bring yourself to the moment. It is here in the moment where I am safest. It is here in the moment where I have all that I need for myself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, energetically. It is here in this moment where I am most open to receiving, and I'm most open to giving. And I want you to really focus literally inside your brain, right? Just as if you're doing yoga nidra and you're focusing on your hand, right? All your focus and energy goes to this finger. And if you go deep enough, you can relax your own muscles within that finger, right? You can train your mind to focus in such a way that you can relax and open your own muscles. You can get a bodily response through your focus, your intention. So you're going to do the same thing inside your brain. So you imagine that these old teachings, right? They're hardwired into your brain, your nervous system, so that you get triggered with your fear response. When any of these thoughts get triggered, whether consciously or unconsciously. So imagine that you are weaving into the gray matter of your brain, every part of your brain, from the brain stem all the way up, all throughout the middle. You are weaving these strands of light. That the present moment is the only moment. That all of your past and future self will find what it needs in this moment. As if they were bright threads that with your focus and your intention, you are literally weaving into your mind and then seeing it weave through all your central nervous system. That you are safe because you are in the moment, that this is the only moment, the moment where you are empowered, where you are fully present and fully yourself. So you start with the breath to stop whatever is being triggered, whatever thought pattern is happening that has triggered the feelings of fear. You are in fight or flight or freeze or some version of that. Or you are feeling so depressed that you cannot access any of your other feelings. It all begins here in the mind, in your beautiful brain. So breathe your breathing pattern, all your focus on the breath, eyes open, resting on one thing only. To really bring down the stimulation that the eyes create. And if at any point you feel safe enough to close your eyes and that feels right and good, do that. If it doesn't, keep them open. The more you practice this new language of the moment, the more you rewire literally your brain to go from being past, future focused to the present. You will bring your fear response down into normal levels, healthy levels. When you have a fear response that tells you you need to get out of this situation or you need to stop doing what you're doing, that's healthy, right? So you want to nurture your healthy fear response. You want to leave that alone. We are rewiring your unhealthy fear response. Work with this, beloved ones. It's not easy. This is not an overnight, quick 20-minute solution, change your life forever kind of thing. This takes the effort that learning a new language would take. Even though I'm not giving you a big vocabulary list, it is the same. Inside your brain, it is the same. So you have to, like learning a new language, people say that when they start to dream in that language or when they start to think in that language, that's when they're really learning the new language. So your brain has to think and dream in the present rather than the past and the future. That is when you will know that you are really learning this language, that your brain, your nervous system is rewiring itself. And when you are living more consciously in the present moment, you are more available to yourself and to others. The events in your life will be more enjoyable because the stress response will be so much less. You will not fear upcoming things because you are living in the moment. And you are teaching your brain that thinking and worrying and feeling fear and anxiety about what's coming or what's been already, does not change what happened or what's going to happen. It only affects you and the people around you as the events unfold. And for some of you, depending on the trauma in which you grew up with or how you were affected by the dysfunction or the trauma within your home, learning this new language may take longer than others who did not have as much trauma, do not get triggered as easily into that heightened fear response. So be patient with yourselves and learn this language of safety as a gift to yourself, your beautiful mind, and the body that it affects every moment of every day. And I will be there right beside you, within your heart, helping to support you in learning this new language. Let's do it together. I love you, and please be kind to yourselves. Namaste. Oh my goodness. Well, I don't know about all of you, but it was definitely for me today. Oh my gosh, I want to learn this language. I could just see, I love that part which she was talking about, weaving those threads of light, of being present through my brain. Yeah, I felt the same way, Deborah. Yeah. I after everything that got brought up for me in Hawaii, just, because some of you may not know that not only do I get to be the facilitator, but I also get to be the student. It's like, so yay, always get stuff stirred up. And this is perfect timing. My gosh, you are so welcome, Kathleen. Yeah, Claudia, I felt the same thing. I was like, okay, the breathing, and then the monologue, and then the weaving of those threads of light. Okay, I want to hear how this works for you guys. I'm really yeah, Barbara, I felt that way too. So let me know if you try it and if it works and if you feel any different, because I'm gonna write this down as soon as we're done so I can remember it. That was awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us today, I should say. It's good to be back, and I just appreciate you all so much because I really love doing these, and it's good to see you here. Have a fantastic week. I won't see you in the meditations, but if any of you are there, mwah, thank you. That's so wonderful. I'm looking forward to starting again tomorrow morning. 6:45 a.m. Pacific time, 9:45 a.m. Eastern time, US. Much love to all of you. You are welcome, Janie. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Me too. Maybe we should start a little little language class. Little language practice class. Oh my gosh, because I remember in college trying to learn a language because we didn't have, well, anyway, in high school, we didn't have any of the options that I was interested in. And we had class every day, 5 days a week, because you have to practice every day to learn a new language. So that, yeah, so that makes a lot of sense to me. So I think that in order to learn this, I'm going to have to practice every day. Oh, that's so great, Francois. Yes, yes, yes. When we wake up, oh my gosh, for me, it's usually super early, like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. Yeah, and then I can't get back to sleep because my mind's just going. This is going to be a good interruption, because I've been, she's taught before about interrupting those thoughts and sort of focusing them in a different direction. But this is way deeper. This is much, much deeper. So I can't wait. Okay. Love to you all. Have a fantastic week. Mwah. Much, I hope you have a fantastic day, and, take care.